to one and all. I, Dr. A.S. Pathan, welcome you all on behalf of Civil Engineering Department, Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Study, Aurangabad, for this online session of Inspire Talk series. Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Study is known for imparting technical, professional, and life skill among the student with an aim to create a better tomorrow for the society. Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Study is known for nurturing and maintaining quality environment for the academic excellence. We at DIMS are giving holistic training to all students so that they develop right kind of attitude, knowledge and skill which will help them to serve the nation in better way, and Inspire Talk series support this to a greater extent where eminent speaker unfold their professional life journey to the student. For this session, we are blessed to have such a successful personality, Mr. Anand Mahurkar sir, Chairman of Findability Science, a global big data, cognitive and AI product company with us. A warm welcome to you, sir. I take
Thank you.
this opportunity to welcome Dr. Ullas Shurkar sir, Director, DIMS, all heads of the department, faculty members, and my dear student. Welcome you all. According to John Quincy Adams, who was sixth President of United States, if your action inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Such a leader we are having with us as our director, Dr. Ullas Shurkar sir, who is the director of DIMS since its inception. This institute has achieved a remarkable position in a very short period due to its dynamic leadership. He is a prominent academician in engineering with 35 years of experience in the education. He is member on Academic Council of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, and an active member on various committee of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Sir has achieved many awards and recognitions in his career, such as Sevagar Award by Marathwada Section Prasarak Mandal in 2014, Dronacharya Award by Lions Club Aurangabad in 2012, Guruvari Award by Rotary Club Aurangabad in 2011. Having such a leader is truly inspiring for all of us. Now, before requesting Mr. Anand Mahurkar sir to address the session, I would like to introduce him shortly. Mr. Anand Mahurkar sir is a founder and chairman of Findability Science, a global big data, cognitive and AI product company. He is graduate in mechanical engineering and postgraduate in business administration. He has 30 plus years of diverse technology and business experience serving Fortune 500 clients globally. He is an inventor in big data and contextual data technology. Mr. Anand Mahurkar sir was on the IBM Weston Ecosystem Partner Advisory Board in 2014. IBM Big Data magazine recognized Anand Mahurkar as a big data hero. Fundability Science, founded by Anand Mahurkar, has been leading in invention in the area of big data, cognitive computing, and artificial intelligence. Anand Mahurkar sir is a big data and artificial intelligence technology inventor who believe in driving business impact through strategic AI adaptation. In 2010, he founded Fundability Science in Boston metropolitan area in the United States with the vision to equip enterprises with the ability to find information. The company progressed technologically in the AI solution space, adding big data, cognitive computing, and automated prediction technologies. Anand sir has lead Fundability Science on a path of technological invention and growth, winning several awards. Prior to starting Fundability Science, he was a president and Datamatics Global Service in the Greater Boston area, where he earned experience in managing sizable teams and a global clientele. In a professional journey of over 3 decades, Anand has collaborated with numerous Fortune 500 clients and deliver exceptional business value to them. Currently, he is a character member of TIE Boston, where he is responsible for monitoring bidding entrepreneurs. In December 2021, he was honored with the International Achiever Award at Indian Achiever Forum and was recognized for this outstanding and professional achievement in technology on the global level. Now, I request Mr. Anand Mahurkar sir to begin the session. At the same time, I would like to request all the faculties and students to post their question in the chat box. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Pathan, thank you very much for having me. Good evening to everybody on the call. I really appreciate you inviting me here. I'm very excited. I feel virtually I am in Aurangabad. I have roamed around the world, but Aurangabad continues to be the city which I love the most. Over next 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to cover three areas. And since this is a Inspire series, I'm going to first talk about a little bit of my background. I'm generally not used to just talk about me and Dr. Pathan. Thank you for this illustrious introduction. But I'm going to share with you some visuals. And the only reason for me to talk a little bit about me is for all the students on this call or those who will be listening to this recording later, you need to know that for becoming successful, it really doesn't matter from where you come from. The second thing I'm going to cover that since I personally work in the artificial intelligence or AI area, and I know that this is organized by the civil department, but AI is now going to be a necessary skill for every teacher, every professor, every student, and every professional going forward. So what I'm going to do is that in my second part of my talk, I'm going to talk about a little bit of AI and really introduce you guys some basic concept today in 5 to 7 minutes. I'm sure that your interest will peak in that area and would love to answer any more questions or even conduct down the line specific session for professors as well as students to talk about artificial intelligence and data science. And in the third part, I'm going to talk about the 10 things which I learned in my 30 years of career. These are really simple things, not necessarily easy, but I believe that I would like to share with what I have learned, and if someone can get really inspired and can pick up those without really going through the experience and directly jump on to adopting those 10 learnings, there can be a phenomenal difference in your career growth or personal growth. Having said that, I'm going to make use of few slides and visuals so that you all can see what I'm talking about. So here you go. So as Dr. Pathan introduced, my name is Anand, and I just want to first show it to you that this building and this picture is not that far away from your institute. So I have studied at Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. And again, I want to first tell you that whatever career achievements Dr. Pathan read about me, the journey began not few miles, but few feet away from each one of you in Aurangabad city. Starting from there, where I lived, this I'm sure you all going to Devgiri College, crossed this building number of times. This is the C hostel in Government College of Engineering near the Polytechnic College. This is where I studied. The left, right on this side was my room where I studied my engineering for 4 years in Aurangabad. While studying itself, I think now reflecting 32 years ago, and I was working on preparing for this presentation and looking through my archivals, and I was really touched that 32 years ago, my project, the final year project, though I was a mechanical engineering student, was on robotics. And I built a robotic arm. So if what you see here on the left side is the robotic arm, and the idea at that time was to pick and place the bearings on the shaft in the manufacturing setup. And I also found this 32-year-old notice which was put on the notice board that my project won the first award that time in the Engineering College of Aurangabad. Now, the reason again to show it to you that 32 years ago, I thought about robotics, I thought about computer science. That time there were not those many computers or computer languages which are there today. But you can keep dreaming, and not necessarily your dreams come together next day, but it may take a lot of time. And I was really touched and wanted to share with you all that 32 years ago, I did develop a robotic arm in Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad. I was also the same year, in the final year, recognized by my professors and the principal as the best student for the final year of engineering in the college. I then started my career, and this was my first ever job. And you can see the dirty clothes and dirty hands working on the shop floor as a mechanical engineer. I was in Pune with Bharat Forge, was working in shifts, working on the shop floor, repairing machines, doing hard work in terms of the way any mechanical engineering or a worker in a factory shop will do it. Decided to change my career track, got into semi-automation or computer science with Videocon. I again pulled this picture from my archival because I don't know how many of the new young students remember the guy in the green shirt, but I'm sure some of the professors may recollect. This is Anshuman Gaikwad, the Indian cricket coach and a very well-known Indian cricket player. So we launched few products in India. I decided to change strategically my career from factory to so-called white-collar job, because after working in the factories for 3-4 years, I realized I'm not a white-collar, blue-collar worker job. I can much more do outside the factory in setting up businesses. At a very, very young age, I decided to take stage. I decided to become confident, address forums, make presentations, learn new technologies. So this is picture in when Anshuman Gaikwad was invited as one of the chief guests when we launched at Videocon some of the office automation products in Baroda. A long story short, I will not bore you guys with the finer details, but this is just a slide summarizes that, as Dr. Pathan talked about. Since then, I constantly grew myself on the global stage, achieving many things. So I am a TED talker. I have presented worldwide in various cities, various countries, traveled to 27 countries, been invited as a chief guest, as a main speaker, received number of awards within India, outside India, and I continued my journey. But again, my roots remain in Aurangabad. And very touching is that during the pandemic and post-pandemic, my company received one of the biggest awards anybody can receive in the world. Is the Financial Times rated the company as the fastest growing, Inc. magazine rated as one of the fastest 5,000 companies, and then the Fast magazine rated the company as one of the most creative solutions or product company. And last but not the least, as Dr. Pathan said just a few weeks ago, I am awarded as the International Achievers Award from the Indian Achievers Forum for 2021. And again, to show you all this reason from my engineering days to now is to just tell you that I was born in Ambezogai. So Aurangabad is also a bigger town. Till my high school, I studied and lived in Ambezogai. Moved to Aurangabad for my engineering college. Moved to Pune, as I just showed you, for doing my first job. Then built my career, got into backdoor entry into computer science, started working in Mumbai. And since last 19 years, working in Boston, building this company and technology at a global level. But what I want to show it to you that you can come from a town like Ambezogai and you can create a world's fastest growing organization at a global stage. So again, as I said, I'm not that, I always feel shy about talking about me, but I'm sure all the students on this call, mostly you guys must be from the Marathwada region. Most of you may have come from various small towns to Aurangabad to study at a beautiful college like Devgiri College. So I just wanted to let you know, you can dream big, you can achieve In fact, my achievements are very, very small. In the modern world, what opportunities you have and what education you have and what exposure you have, you can do much more than that. The last is that in spite of achieving all this, I didn't forget my roots. These are the pictures of our Aurangabad office. I encourage every professor on this call and every student on this call, please do visit our office in Aurangabad. This office is done with the best intention, and we have put our heart and soul into creating this office. What we wanted to do is create world-class facilities for our employees in a city like Aurangabad. So if you enter this office, this is near the Prozon Mall. If you enter into this office, you will not feel that you are in Aurangabad. You may feel that you are in Boston or New York or London or Tokyo. So again, there are some specific reasons why I'm showing you all these pictures and why I'm talking about that. But before going to those reasons, what I wanted to switch gears for a couple of minutes, and this is going to be more important for all of you. Those are more not computer engineering students or professors, but the data science and artificial intelligence in this new world is one of the most important skill one should have. And what I wanted to do today is that since I have this opportunity of 30 minutes, wanted to walk you through the basic concepts of what is artificial intelligence and not get scared about it and not feel that I'm not a computer science student. How can I learn artificial intelligence? Every stream of engineering or every stream of any profession is going to be touched by artificial intelligence. So I encourage you, irrespective of your stream of education, please spend time yourself in studying data and AI. And I'm going to spend few minutes in just giving you today a teaser education course, a really a quick sound bites that you remember few words of AI and you start feeling friendliness about AI, that it's not that difficult branch. And again, the reason I told you all my story is that I'm a mechanical engineer. I worked in factory, but today I stand tall in the global industry and call myself as one of the experts in data science and artificial intelligence. So if I did it, you guys can much more do it much faster and much better. So what is really artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, in a simple way, is defined as a machine which learns, perceives, reasons, and solves problems. So these four words are very important. And if you notice that these four words are taken from human behavior. So what the computer science engineers or innovators or scientists have done is that they're constantly thinking about, can a machine do functions like human beings? Humans are different animals on the earth. There are millions of species, as you know, as a living species on the earth, but humans are the most superior because of their ability to learn, perceive, reason, and solve problems. So we are trying to do the same thing with machines. And whenever a computer science student or professor or a professional teaches a machine that how it can learn, perceive, reason, and solve problems, that becomes artificial intelligence. There are typically 5 branches of artificial intelligence, but I will just cover 3 because those are the most important for or most common for students and professors. The first is machine learning, that you can have a machine learning technology under the branch of AI. The second is the natural language processing. The natural language processing again stemmed from the aspiration that can machine talk? Can you talk to machine? Can machine understand your emotions? Can machine understand your sentiments? I'm sure most of you have seen Alexa from Amazon, or you must have experienced Siri from Apple. Those are the natural language processing technologies that you can talk to the machine. Machine can understand like a human brain and respond you back. And last but not the least is the computer vision, that how a video or a picture can be seen by the computer and can be analyzed. So again, those professors and students on the call, please note that whenever you think about AI or artificial intelligence, these are the most common technologies in the artificial intelligence technology. So machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. Now, there are different types of technologies within these three branches. And I'm going to touch upon only two very simple. Again, all of you should know this, irrespective of your branch or irrespective of your stream of education, that there are two types of learnings in the machine learning. One is the supervised machine learning, and second is unsupervised machine learning. Now, this may get little technical for some of you, but I'll try to make it simple. That supervised machine learning or a software or an algorithm or a program or a model is a model or a program where you have lots of historic data. So, for example, you are trying to predict that how many students in the final year now are going to get a job. Let's think about a simple example. Now, I know that your class may be only 40-60 students, so therefore you may be able to quickly say that how many are going to get a job. But just imagine that we have millions of students in Aurangabad city or in Maharashtra or in India, and we would like to predict that how many students are going to likely get job in the first month of graduation. So you can take a supervised machine learning algorithm. You can now feed the data of last 10-15 years of your college, saying that these many students were there, these are their names, these are addresses, this is their qualification, this is their marks, these are their grades, these are the subjects they were taught, and these students got the job in a very first month. So you feed that historic data, and then the machine learns from that historic data, understands the pattern that which student is likely to get job in the first month. And then when you now put the data for this year, where you don't know the outcome, then the system will give you the outcome that out of these 1,000 students, these 500 or these 600 are going to get the job in a very first month. Now, I'm giving you a very simple example for you to understand. In the typical industry or businesses, there are far more complex problems to solve. You want to predict your product prices, you want to predict your outcomes, you want to predict a risk for your business, you want to find out frauds, or you want to do cybersecurity threats. So all those can be done by the supervised machine learning algorithm. What it needs is the historic data. You take the data from the past. So basically, the way we say that why our parents or grandparents or our teachers know more, because they have the history, they have the experience. So same logic and same concept is brought into artificial intelligence, that you feed the data from the history, the algorithm learns, remembers what happened when, and then predicts. Now in unsupervised machine learning, you need historic data, but you don't know what you are really looking for. So going back to my example, that as a student, you would like to know how many students are going to get job in the first month. You knew what you are looking for, and therefore you use supervised machine learning algorithm. But when you don't know and you just feed now 1 million students in Maharashtra, give all their historic data to computer and say, hey, tell me what should I look into it, and then the computer will go through all the data and the algorithm will tell you the outcome, that okay, these many female students are there, these are the male students, these are the people who are going to probably get job, these are the people who are going to get higher salaries. Whatever it finds, learns from the historic data, it will tell you in terms of clusters, graphs, analytics, etc. And that is unsupervised machine learning. Again, why I'm going into a little bit of technology into the aspiration talk or inspiration talk is basically I want you guys to know that this is all simple. You can learn it and you can understand AI. And even if it's irrespective of your civil engineering or mechanical engineering or production engineering, you will touch these technologies in your area of work. So for example, if you are a civil engineer, what material you would like to use? When you use X material, what will happen on your building? How you can save the cost of your building, what can be the prices of the components you are purchasing. So there are number of algorithms and AI technologies are applicable onto your civil engineering work which you will be doing in your profession or the field. The next branch is text analytics. The natural language processing is divided into three areas. It's the text analytics, natural language bots, and text processing. Text analytics is where you get all the unstructured text or Word documents or social media chats or video calls, audio calls, and you can analyze the text without human reading it. And it will say that, oh, the sentiment in Aurangabad is positive, or this batch of student, their tone is negative. So you don't need to have humans read the text. The machine can read the text and analyze it. The natural language bots, I'm sure you all have experienced bots now on websites, and when you call someone, there are natural language bots where you speak and the computer can respond to you in the same language. And the text processing is where you can get large amount of text. Imagine how much text we are producing every day. So large corporations need to understand what their what their customers are talking, what their shareholders are talking, what their partners are talking, and text processing is used for that. In computer vision is basically processing images, audio, and visuals so that you can make analysis from these images. Because again, how many pictures we are taking? Just imagine 5 years ago how many pictures we took versus how many pictures we take now. Every day we take pictures. Whereas, for example, growing up for me, it was once or twice in a year we used to take pictures. So the image and video processing is also a branch of AI where you can get analysis and information from the image and video processing. Now, what are the typical applications? I did cover in some of my examples, and therefore I put the animation much faster than the earlier ones. Is the automatic data analysis. You can get now data. Typically, the data is from people to people. So I'm texting someone, I'm talking to someone is writing me an email. That's the people to people data. But there is a people to machine data. You go to ATM, you withdraw money, you are creating the data with people to machine, or even machine to machine creates the data. Your phone is constantly connected to the GPS, and that phone is creating data with the GPS. So you can get all that data, do automated analysis, you can do predictive and prescriptive analytics, you can create voice bot, chat bots, you can do predictive analytics using text, you can process documents intelligently, you can understand the images which you are putting in Facebook or Twitter or on LinkedIn and analyze that content to get information out of it and basically serve your customers better, or uh, or basically do your business more efficiently. So to do all this, the branch of data science, and again, the last point in this quick education class on AI, that for everything you need internal, external, structured, and unstructured data. So internal data means I'm talking about the organization. This can be your college, this can be your business, this can be your company. So internal data or your factory or manufacturing setup or your buildings, as you all know, the civil engineers, now most of the buildings have lots of sensors. You can collect a lot of data from each building, and that becomes the internal data. The external data is typically the weather data or economic data or what's happening in the market. And unstructured data means text, news releases, video, audio is unstructured data. And just to end this whole quick education class on what is AI and what are the types of technologies and branches and what are the applications, what we have done at Findability Sciences is we have built a platform or a technology called Findability.ai, which basically encompasses the machine learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. And it has the ability to take internal, external, structured, unstructured data. And we work with large corporates worldwide in United States, India, and Japan. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this, that you would be surprised, but this technology is built maybe a kilometer away from where you all are joining in Aurangabad. So this artificial intelligence technology, which is being used globally by large corporates, is made in Aurangabad, and I'm sure you all will feel proud about it. So now moving from this little bit tough technical topic, what I really learned building this technology, building this company, building my career, getting into United States, setting up business, is that there are many learnings, but I thought that for this forum, there are 10 simple things I would like to walk you through. Please note that these are not necessarily easy steps, but these are simple steps. So I hope you all understand the difference between easy and simple. So to go to the first.
Necessary, yes. In the sense that if they know this, but if they know all this and more, that's good. But if they don't know, so there is also unnecessary, emphasize on, let's say, Fourier series and Laplace and so on. Without,
I'm not sure whether I'm getting the audio or somebody's mic is on or somebody's asking me question. But Hunt sir, can you please come in and tell me what's going on? And I can't hear well if somebody is talking to me.
But you've lost some information because X1 is not in the picture.
Pathan sir, I couldn't hear well
Yes.
and understood if
Yes.
somebody is saying.
No, sir. One mic is on. I have muted. Yes.
Thank you. And Pathan sir, you can hear me very well, right? Because I don't have any feedback from any one of you yet.
No, sir. Your voice is good, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So the first thing which I learned, and I want all the students to really keep in mind, that choose who you spend time with. Now, this is very simple. It may become difficult because you may say, oh, my friend is like that, or my family member is like that, but I have to forcefully do it. But no, you have a choice. And really what happens and what I have learned in my career and my life is that what stories you hear make you who you are. So I really admire Shurkar sir and Pathan sir's initiative of having this inspiration talks, because this is one way that with which company you are, to whom you are listening to, what stories you are hearing, that makes you who you are. So the first simple step I highly request to all the students on this call is that choose who you spend time with. It's very important, it's very simple, but you will become the company of which you spend time with. The second is no decision is right or wrong unless you take one. Most of the time you get lots of ideas, you have lots of thoughts, you want to do many things, but you hesitate to take decisions because you overanalyze those thoughts and decisions or ideas. So for example, I'm sure that every student or even some of professors on this call must have got some idea in your career sometime saying, oh, I think this is a fantastic idea. I can set up a business and I can create a big business out of it. That evening or that afternoon, you're very excited about that idea, but overnight you sleep and next day morning you get up and you start thinking about the problems in that idea. You start getting fearful, you start dropping that idea and you say, oh no, I don't have money, or this idea is not good, market is not good. You can give yourself a lot of satisfactory answers that why you are not jumping and why you are not working on your ideas. And this is not necessarily only for business ideas or entrepreneurship. It can start with your even small idea that I'm sure how many of you want to go to gym every day morning, but you get up and then you just start giving you excuses that, oh, I can do this tomorrow, I am busy, I have to study. But my request and what I learned is that no decision is right and wrong unless you take one. So you take the decision. If you believe that it was a wrong decision, you have possibility of correcting it. But please do take decisions. Don't procrastinate, don't delay it. Just take the decisions and keep moving. If you bring this ability in you, the success is already yours. The third is that no idea is a bad idea. If you are convinced about that, it can change the world. You can bring that idea and convince others that this idea is really good and it can change the world. So therefore, do not be shy. You can think about it. Like I'm sure many of you in Aurangabad has used Ola, right? So it is such a simple idea that you want a cab and you want to order a cab on your phone. Was that required in the society? No, because we were very happy in hauling the rickshaws and calling a cab and taking a ride. But someone thought about the idea that using the smartphone, you can order a cab and become the world's largest taxi company. Now, our parents may say, oh, taxi business is a bad business, but it has become the world's biggest changer into the whole transportation industry. So therefore, there is no idea which is a bad idea. If you personally are convinced, you will be able to convince the world. So do not scrap your ideas. Whenever it comes to it, go ahead and kindle those ideas and take it forward. My humble request to all the students, I'm sure I'm going to create a stir here, that don't look for a job, create one. Particularly, I'm sure all the students coming in Devgiri College have fairly good background and you can survive on the earth for 1 year or 2 years without doing a job. So do not try to just get into job and get into salary and trying to earn money because you just want to earn money or you want a job. Please think about creating a job. Now, I'm telling you this by my experience because I always wanted to create a job. And not necessarily you should be only an entrepreneur to create a job. You can be working as an employee, but if you help the company to grow or if you contribute into your organization in creating new opportunities and recruiting people, the satisfaction of recruitment or satisfaction of creating job cannot beat any compensation or any salaries. So please do not just look for a job, but try to create one, whether you as an entrepreneur or you as an employee in any company, that how you can help that company to grow and therefore you can create the jobs even you are as an employee. Most of the times, like for example, all of you, I'm sure must be thinking, oh, this guy is successful, he's lucky, he has gone to United States, he's running a company, he's a big company man. But please note that overnight successes are 15 years in making. The reason I showed you all those pictures right from my engineering school to my factory days to my growth is that I wanted to be an entrepreneur while I was in Aurangabad. But it took me 20 years to realize my dream to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to set up an office in Aurangabad 30 years ago, but it took me 25 years to set up office in Aurangabad. So please note whether it is a sports person, whether it is a celebrity, whether it is a Bollywood actor or actress, or whether it is a business person, whether it is a professor, or even the student who is ranked number 1 in your class. They are not overnight successes. You feel next day you read the news in the newspaper, but you have not tracked their journey. It is typically, and again, 15 years just is a number, but it takes a lot of effort for becoming successful. So do not think about that someone is lucky or somebody is successful because something favored them. No, everybody has to go through that grant. Yes, luck is definitely a factor. Luck favors few people, but luck definitely favors to those who work hard. Now, while doing this is a very important learning I got is a place mentality shield. I'm sure in your classes, for professors, your colleagues, at home, your family members, your friends, people around your neighborhood will constantly, and most dangerous is the news media. And particularly with the social media, there is no control on who says what. If you switch on any news channel in India, there is only negative news. If you go and talk to your friends, they will be scaring with you on number of things. If you talk to your professors or professors talks to their colleagues, most of the time we discuss complaints. So my humble request to all the students on this call is that learn an idea of placing a mentality shield. Now, what is mentality shield? Is that, for example, you are in a classroom or you are sitting outside under the tree and you are discussing about a professor, how that professor is bad or tough or is giving you a lot of exercises. So some negative discussions are going on, or in general about a company or about a person, about country, about whatever economy. There can be any subject, but the moment you start seeing that there are negative discussions going around, put a mentality shield. Imagine yourself in a cocoon. Imagine yourself in a glass jar where you are isolated from all those negative thoughts or negative discussions which are happening around it. Let them bounce onto that shield which you have covered and not get absorbed into it. Now, guys, I'm telling you that this is a sounds very simple. You need a lot of practice, but I highly request you all to start adopting. Do not listen to the TVs, switch off the news channels. You are not going to miss anything by listening to the news. Whenever there is a negative discussion going around, you put a shield on you and just say that I'm not involved into this discussion. If you start doing this, you will realize how much positive energy you generate and how many positive things you can do this in this world. Sorry. The next is again very simple, but maybe difficult to follow, but please do it. Take at least 20 minutes of quiet time daily. Now, I can use a word meditation, but it's a very overused word and people have their own definitions and fears or successes about meditation. What I encourage is, whether you call it as a meditation, whether you can get into an elevated yogic practices, if you can't do any of those things, every day when you get up, just sit somewhere in a quiet place with your eyes closed. Is 20 minutes, let it pass. Let your thoughts come into your brain and go, but just don't move. This quiet time every day morning is going to let you feel and do many things which others cannot do it. You may notice that some people in your class or in your neighborhood or in your family or in your businesses, they are far more superior, far more faster than you, not because God has given them something special or different. They are different because they decide themselves to be different. So to take at least 20 minutes of, and this is really magic, you guys will thank me for this suggestion. Take a 20 minutes quiet time every day when you get up, and you will start seeing miracles happening to you. Don't set goals. Our industry, our society, our family, our friends, our professors ask us to set goals. Please do not set goals, set intentions. Because what happens, and there's a subtle difference between the goals and intentions. What I mean by the goals is that you say, I want to earn 1 lakh salary per month by 2023. You have set the goal. Now, what are you going to do? You are going to push yourself towards that goal, and it is going to become a very torturous journey for you. Because if the increment doesn't come through, you don't get job, or there is no possibility for you earning 1 lakh per month, you are going to feel demotivated. You are going to generate negative thoughts. You are going to work against you. So instead of setting a goal, you just say, I have intention of earning 1 lakh rupees per month. Why you want to talk about after 2 years? Just set your intentions and start imagining what is needed or what it feels like when you have every month 1 lakh coming in into your bank account. Once you set the intentions, they start creating positive pull force, and you don't need to do the push force towards goals. So please do set your intentions, write those down, keep it private. You don't need to share with anybody what are your intentions, but do not set as goals, because they are very torturous and they will always feel you negative and drag your energy. Do not forget your roots while doing all that. And therefore, as I showed you in beginning, my pictures was just to let you know that I didn't forget my roots. In spite of living in America for 19 years, I can come tomorrow to Aurangabad and drive a car or drive a motorcycle or ride in a rickshaw. I set up in Aurangabad office, not because there is a cheap labor in Aurangabad. I wanted to create employment in Aurangabad. So do not forget your roots, from wherever you are coming from, who are your parents, what faith you follow. Do not forget. Do not try to change because of the world. Be yourself. You are going to get lots of returns. Yes, people may comment, people may say something about you, but you stay steady and you will achieve miracles. Last but not least, and I chose your college building because your statement for your college is rise above the rest. That's what I have done. That's what I want you all to do. And I'm sure Devgiri Institute is instilling those skills in you to rise the above the rest. But I want you all to understand the meaning of this statement. This statement doesn't tell you to look someone down or just be competition or just be comparison. Do not compare yourself to anybody else. Somewhere I read that, for example, tomorrow a mango tree decides to become a pineapple tree. Are we going to get good fruits? No. Mango tree on its own is supposed to give sweet mangoes, and pineapple as a tree is supposed to give us sweet and sour pineapples. So they have their own qualities, they have their own aim, they have their own skills. So you also have come here on this earth with your unique skills. Please do not compare with anybody, but definitely every day strive to rise above the rest. With this, I'm going to end my presentation. Dr. Pathan, I really appreciate this opportunity. I hope this was useful. I'm ready to take any any questions if anyone may have.
Thank you so much, sir. We are pretty sure that today's session has enlightening student as well as our staff members. Moving towards question and answer session. The first question from student, how do I become an expert in artificial intelligence? Sir, how you change yourself from mechanical engineering to AI field?
So a very good question, and that's the reason I wanted to share that. As I said, artificial intelligence is going to be everywhere, and how you can train yourself is just be curious. Yes, enroll yourself into some classes or education if you can do, but keep reading online. There's a lot of content. Keep watching online courses. Uh, Findability Sciences as a company is ready to train you in your own college. We have done something in the past. We can do more with your college, but you need to train yourself. How did I move from mechanical engineer to computer science? I'll just share with you a story. I showed you the picture of Bharat Forge factory where I used to work. I was a shop floor engineer, and we were working on a project called Forge Modernization. Now, those who may not know what is forging is basically, if I speak in Hindi or Marathi, it is a calm of a lohar. Now, what does lohar do? Take a hot metal and heat onto it to give the shape to that metal. So Bharat Forge is one of the world's largest forging company. Whatever metal components go into cars or buildings or etc., most of those metal components are produced using the forging technique. So you heat the metal to the highest 1200 degrees temperature and then heat it with the shapes like the lohar does by heating. So it does with the machine and it forms the shape to be used as an axle rod in your car or truck. And that's the job I used to do. But when we were implementing this Forge modernization, Bharat Forge had partnered with a company in Germany called Weingarten. And Weingarten German engineers used to work on the shop floor, setting up these new machineries which were doing the production using robots. So what I used to do is, after my shift was over, I used to spend time with these German engineers looking over their shoulders because these were all computer science and robotic engineers. I used to look over their shoulders, request them to teach me, and I used to stay midnight or even late midnight, early mornings in the factory to just learn. So please do not underestimate yourself. You can also do two things. You can also learn. There are lots of resources available. The way I changed, it was 30 years ago. Now there are many other resources. You don't need to stay in your workplace or you don't need to stay late. But yes, data science and AI is an important stream. Your ability to get job will go up. Your ability to perform will go up. And moving ahead next 20, 30, 50 years, AI and data science is here to live in every branch of engineering and management. So do not consider yourself, I am a civil engineer, I don't need to learn AI. Do learn it. Coming back to your question, how do I do it? There are a number of resources. You go online, you attend classes in any institute, you subscribe to online classes, or even Findability Sciences is ready to help any one of you who are interested. Come to our office, we'll teach you AI.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Dr. Sunil Shinde, sir. How is big data used in construction industry?
Professor Shinde, great question. I am personally working with a large construction company in Japan, in Tokyo. So how it is used is ranging from design to maintenance. So the entire life cycle of construction of a building is now making use of AI. So let's take a couple of examples because this itself can be a 1 hour lecture in terms of how building and material sciences is using AI for the modern world. But take example of designing. When you are designing now, you can use predictive analytics in terms of predicting many things which in the past you have either manually computed or you have imagined or you have just learned from someone else. But predictive analytics can now make your designs more efficient. It can, as I told in terms of supervised learning, you can take historic data of your designs in terms of what material you should use, what should be the dimension, how you can make it energy efficient, how you can make it environmental friendly, etc. So all those design aspects are now predicted by the machine learning techniques during the design phase. Now, moving forward, resources. Buildings or large construction projects, as you know, need both specialty and common resources. Now AI is used to predict what type of resources are required for any specific construction activity. what is their duration, what can be their compensation, and what skills are required. Then it goes to the material procurement or vendor appointments, because when you take a city like Tokyo or Mumbai or in Boston or New York, the tall skyscrapers are a very big project. They are multi-million dollar projects, and their procurement and supply chain needs to be absolutely on spot. Otherwise, these projects tend to get delayed, and there are always overruns on the budgets. So now all the new building constructions are using machine learning techniques in terms of predicting your supply chain, your inventory, your pricing, your quantities, and they are done well in advance so that your building construction goes on time. Then last, and I'm skipping some parts in between, but even maintenance. So now every building, as you know, are now with the sensors. So in a country like Japan or in a city like Tokyo, which is a very earthquake prone, every layer of the building has different levels of sensors, whether it is a vibration sensor, whether it is a temperature sensor, whether it is a humidity sensor. So all these sensors are now producing the data. In addition to that, each building has the air conditioning. Air conditioning means both heating as well as cooling, and all these air conditioning plants have now sensors in order to sense not only the temperatures in the room or in the building, but even how they perform, because these are large machineries, these are multi-million dollar machineries, and the sensors on top of it also spit out the data. And also, as you know, that most of the modern buildings have now cameras and the sensors. So all that data, which we call in the data science world is IoT or Internet of Things data, is collected and then analyzed every day for predictive maintenance or managing spare parts or managing spare part inventory and managing the resources to maintain the buildings. So very large area of now building and construction and civil engineering is using AI. I would like to give you one more example and then stop my answer. Is that outside the building, for example, take now roads and bridges. These public infrastructures, there are now not many resources available in the countries like US or Japan to maintain those. So now how the companies are doing it, that you can send actually a drone with a high definition camera every day to a bridge where you don't need to send a human being, because how it was done so far is that humans have a weekly, monthly or quarterly inspection of the roads and bridges, that you go underneath a bridge, a large bridge, and you see if you see any cracks or if you see any maintenance issues. But now you don't need to send humans. You can send a drone attached with a HD camera. The drone goes around the bridge and takes a picture of every millimeter or every inch or every square feet of that bridge, keeps sending the images to the cloud. And then you can deploy AI to analyze those images, which I talked about, the computer vision, where then it can find out, oh, there is a crack building on this side of the bridge. And then it can also go into the predictive analytics that this crack may grow by this month, and then potentially this collapse may happen at this time. So that now you know what is going to happen, and then you can take proactive actions to repair that bridge or the public infrastructure. So there are a number of use cases and number of applications of AI in building and construction. And Professor Shinde, I hope I answered your question. If you have any follow-up, love to answer.
Thank you so much, sir. We have different questions, but I would like to take one last question from Jivan Salunke, sir. Sir, what data of a common man is secured and what is unsecured on internet?
So Salunke, sir, it is a new world. How much we are secure when we are walking on a road, the same security we have on the internet. What I mean by that when you are crossing the road, you are likely to get hit by a car or a truck, but you secure yourself, you watch yourself around, and then you cross the street. Those who don't, they get hit by the car. So same thing in the world of internet or world of data, that your security is in your hands. That doesn't mean that you should get scared and you should not produce data or you should not interact. I know few people who do not use smartphones, and in a country like United States, they do not do any transactions on internet because they are paranoid or they are fearful that someone is going to steal their data. So in the new world, the security what we had in our physical world is the similar safety or security is in the internet world. So for individual, what data is secure? It really depends upon what you are doing, what settings. So when you are using social media, have you looked at the privacy policies? Have you gone and clicked on the right button? So please use that hygiene if you are worried about your data. But moving ahead, there is no possibility that you can hide from the world and not produce data. The phone which is in your pocket, it's constantly generating data for those 100 apps which you have loaded on your machine or your phone. Those 100 apps are using your data in terms of where are you located, which shop you enter, which shop you exit. So you can either live with it, say that I'm fine with it, or if you are not, then make sure that your location services are switched off, you are not interacting with those apps. So you can be secure as much as you want. But keep in mind, yes, there are some bad actors in the world, and those are the bad actors in the physical world also. However secure we do our house, the thieves come and steal our belongings in your house, right? So same thing happens in the internet world. Not necessarily the whole world is bad. There are some bad actors and they will act badly and they will continue to act badly. But there are defenses being built like we do it in the physical world, that we have police, we put lock on our door, we latch our door where we go out, we put our belongings into bank. So those are the same things in the physical world we did. Now we have to do it in the world of internet or virtual world. But keep in mind that most of the companies working with you have no bad intent. They are not there to steal your data and do something with your data. But yes, protecting your data is your responsibility, and try to be secure by getting alerted about and aware about what you are doing with internet and your smartphones.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Professor Saurabh Nirke, sir, to extend vote of thanks. Over to you, Nirke, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. S. Patan, for giving me this opportunity. I, Saurabh Nirke, feel immense gratitude to express vote of thanks. My first and foremost thanks to our today's guest, Mr. Anand Mahurkar, for sharing his glorious journey in data science and artificial intelligence. My special thanks to Mr. Mandar Kulkarni for making this session possible. My special thanks to Dr. Ullah Shurkar, Director, DIMS, for his guidance on each step for the smooth conduction of Inspire Talk series session. My sincere thanks to our patrons, Sri Prakash Solanke, President, Marathwada Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Shri Sheikh Salim Sheikh Ahmed, Vice President, MSPM, Shri Satish Chavan, Secretary, MSPM, and all management for their support and motivation to conduct such activities. I take this opportunity to thank Dr. G.R. Gande, Head Civil Engineering Department, for his continuous support, help, and motivation for successful conduction of this Inspire Talk. I extend my gratitude towards all head of department and faculty members and supporting staff for their cooperation and participation. I also thank organizing committee Professor Jivan Salunke for making this Inspire Talk possible. Last but not the least, big thanks to all the students who actively participated in this session. Stay safe and have a healthy life. With the permission of speaker, I declare the program is over. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And one more request, all the participants are requested to fill the feedback form using the link provided in chat box.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.